Welcome to the bold. The last time military was seen or came out of the barracks displaying their artillery was 40 years ago during the 1982 coup d'etat. And that coup d'etat happened when I think Generation X, if I'm not wrong, or boomers, were out to tell President Moi that enough is enough. Of course, when the military and conspiracies emerged around that coup d'etat. Since then, things changed, and Moi became one of the most dangerous dictators in the history of this country by then. So we will look at this, but help me debunk a video here. Just a minute. Today, I wanted to watch this video of this officer flashing his gun. So after this, another video emerged, and allegedly video that was meant to set the record straight. This video is now showing, and the government team have been trying to prove that that officer did not fire a live bullet on the journalist. What they're saying is there was a bullet he fired on some journalist there, or a rubber bullet or something.
I have supporting documents. If you need, if you need.
So I wanted to watch this other one. So to the best of your knowledge, if you check, there is an attempt to show that he fired tear gas canister. What do you make of it? Because that video has been trending online. If you check, you'll see that video. And Kenyans are divided. People are not, specific what exactly happened. Whether it is a live bullet or a rubber bullet, it was wrong. But then which one was it? I've tried to look at this other. There is this photo with this soldier carrying a gun. I don't know if there's a soldier or a police, or a police is also a soldier maybe, carrying a gun. And you can see that tear gas canister embedded in that gun. The other one, I did not see that tear gas canister. So maybe we'll have to be told what exactly happened, because there have been a question on that. But of course, if it was shot, then who was shot? Who is the person who was shot? There, I think it should be shown. So look at that. Now, back to our discussion. Veteran political analysts have been saying that since 1982, Moi changed and became one of the worst dictators and under the Kano regime. And that is what, it is the conduct of Moi for the last 10 years between 1982 to 1992 that necessitated or caused the clamor for the Saba Saba movement that birthed the multi-party democracy. So by the time people are coming to 1992, the people are fed up with Moi. And were it not that Jaramogi and Matiba did not divide votes, because if you match the votes of both Jaramogi and Matiba and Moi and Mwai Kibaki, they would have got their way. They would have beaten Moi in 1992. But that divide and rule was used, and that was used after Moi had actually lost his grip. On Thursday, after President Ruto was caught off guard, on Tuesday, President Ruto was caught off guard. And the security apparatus could not explain how civilians were able to invade one of the second most protected institutions in the Republic of Kenya, the Parliament of Kenya, in the full glare of cameras. The world watched in shock. Global media, very huge headlines in the world on how Kenyans were able to storm Parliament. So questions, and Ruto was really bashing his head on what exactly that would be. What caused that? I can tell you, I may not be an expert on security front, but one thing I understand, the people overpowered the police. They outnumbered the police and the police had to retreat. And even an attempt to shoot was not enough. One of the things that the president and I've seen many Kenyans asking here is, the people that stormed Parliament, were they Generation Z? The answer is yes. They were just Generation Z. You can see, if you look at those voters, those were very young people, daring. They went and ate in the cafeteria and all that. So, today, or rather not today, on 27th, Thursday, after Kenyans also threatened to storm now Statehouse, William Ruto, for the first time, unleashed the military in Nairobi. And the military drove all the way from the Langata barracks all the way to CPD, converted now to support the other security operators that were on ground, displaying their artillery. That was a force, that was a last-minute push that was even, had even been opposed by the way it was rushed and the legal technicalities around it. But to the surprise of the president, when the military drove in town, they were welcomed like heroes.
Jeshi ndo wameita wananchi, watu walikuwa home. Ndo
ilienda na live ingine, sina hata. Jeshi wameshindwa. Hey, hapo jamaa. Sijui. Sonda hivyo mama. Wewe, basi hivyo.
Na mtazamaji, picha za moja kwa moja kutoka katikati mwa jiji la Nairobi. Awali tuliwaona wanajeshi wakipita na wananchi tu wakijitokeza, sijui ni furaha, sijui ni nini, lakini walijitokeza tu wengi wakifuata gari hilo, na kwa sasa tunaona picha za moja kwa moja polisi pale wakishika doria kuhakikisha usalama umeimarishwa. Na tofauti na ilivyokuwa mapema asubuhi ni kwamba sasa wananchi wanajitokeza mjini, wamekuwa wengi tu. Awali hali ilikuwa ni tulivu, shughuli kidogo zilionekana kulemazwa, lakini kwa sasa wananchi wamejaajaa katikati mwa jiji la Nairobi. Vilevile
this reception is one that you must look at very careful. Very careful. That was a reception that many people, and I think even the President's Council, must look. And after looking at that video, you need to see what's happening in the Sahel nations. What's happening in Mali, Burkina Faso, and other areas, Chad and Niger. The junta, the military who are overthrowing elected presidents in the Sahel nations, are being received like heroes in those countries. Burkina Faso is one of ideal examples. Ibrahim Traore was welcomed after that coup d'etat. He's welcomed and is one of the most loved presidents in the Sahel region. Those who are kicking out French and others, the military rule is getting more traction in Africa. This is a video that should worry President Ruto. I can tell you, if the military were to take over power from the president, from UDA, no one would have a problem. They would actually welcome. Even though we've understood that the military takeovers, much as they have been successful, but some have not really met the expectations. Sometimes they take over, then, for example, in Zimbabwe, they take over and then cling to power. They take over, they fail to effect any change. And of course, they also don't meet the expectations of the public. But this was perceived, and we understand that there were clear instructions to avoid confrontation with the civilians as police were left to do their work. The military is most disciplined force and has a good rapport with the civilians. In fact, if there is something the country needs to be thankful of during this critical time, is our military. Because contrary to what was the propaganda that was all over, I can tell you, the Wednesday night was Twitter, social media was a propaganda theater by people being, threatening people left, right, and center, saying, we are unleashing the military and we'll know now the real face of government. They are going to do this, they're going to do that. And I kept on asking. I remember I asked members of this channel directly, and I was asking them that, what exactly would the military, what exactly are the military going to use? Which tactic are they going to use to ensure the surprise? Because, for example, if 1,000 people are marching to Statehouse, what are the military? Let me not say. Let's say Parliament. What are they supposed to do that the other policemen did not do? Is it about shooting? The policemen that were cracking on those who are storm Parliament tried the live bullets, and they could not. You cannot shoot everyone. Could not shoot all of them. The people were unmoved, and they went. I'm telling you. So you cannot. There is a very interesting bit that probably we have to look at. But you need to thank the conduct. I think personally, the country need to thank the military for what they did. I saw them escorting. Oh my goodness. I saw them escorting protesters home. There is no single video of that altercation. People expecting. The police just continued their reckless behaviors. The way, their customary way of doing things. The military kept their peace, and they earned the respect. I told you, for the last 40 years, no one has seen them in the street. Those artilleries, no one had seen them in the street. And they kept their stand very peaceful, keeping to the professional standard. No, there was, and I think that was a better one. Now, there's a question of why we, and I think the church was against that move of deploying military. Was Ruto staring at a planned coup? That is the question we will try to answer. However, there's some observations that were also made just between the Thursday and Friday. On Thursday, there was this video, I wanted to look at, not video, there was this photo that emerged of protesters carrying the Russian flag. Yes. This was taken in Nairobi. It was reported by the Forbes as the protest, as Kenyans fight the American hegemony and the IMF here. There's some protest. There was a protest that was seen carrying the Russian flag, and I think the international media covered this. This did not, the local media did not take this angle. Quite a number of us did not pay attention, but this was there. It was captured and people, oh, why? How did it come to? You've been seeing that even the military coups in the Sahel nations have been Russia. And in fact, within, I can tell you, within no time here in this country, in the 2027 general election, we are going to have a candid discussion on which direction Kenya is taking. Is it west or is it east? What is going to be the standing? Because in this development will have this NATO, non-NATO US ally, you know, those pronouncements that we've got and how we've been, the dalliance with America, there was going to be an attempt by the East to infiltrate. And this time round, I see Russia, they will try to infiltrate our, to come through and get a stake, because they're also looking for the Africa. That created, and by the time that was coming, there was a question of, oh, are they also interested? Are they in the country? And what about it? Now, after that, today, the police, we saw this police unit. First, this one, police unit with US badges. This was in Nairobi. In the advanced part of the advanced security, the advanced operation in Nairobi, this police, you can see, I don't know if there's a police or a soldier or someone. He was having the US badge. That is a US badge there. Is there presence of US, the American security forces there? Is that their presence? It's a question. The only thing we have there, but there is a cooperation deal between the two countries. And what was the extent of the threat that we had to unleash all this? Then you can also see another one here was, there was another vehicle, the police, the security apparatus there, an unmarked car, no number plate, even the police, no one knew who were there and they were in plain clothes. So was it reinforcement? One thing you will understand, there was a lot of reinforcement. I've just understood, someone was asking, is Parliament a protected area? Is Statehouse not a protected area? I'll tell you something that happened towards the end of this video. How Ruto, you know, how Ruto ran a divide and rule. A divide and rule, yes, let me just write it, rule strategy to quell that protest, because there was something there. Now, let's interpret these two. The Russian flags, the US presence there, and the reception of the military. The reception of the military in Nairobi. It's not what people, you know, people expected that, oh, there was going to be a clash. In fact, the military have their own image, one of the best, a good image. They've not been in all this. Someone need to tell me, by the way, someone need to tell me, and I'm just thinking loud. In 2018, the day Raila was swearing himself, security was even withdrawn from CBD, and that was the day it was understood that that is the day it was understood that Raila was going to take power. Why didn't Uhuru bring military? I'm just trying to compare. Why didn't we hear of the military being unleashed? We didn't see this artillery military being unleashed from the barracks to Nairobi. You know, why? So what was the magnitude of this? While by that time, actually the country, the supporters around Raila were like, we are leaving Uhuru Park and we are going to Statehouse. It was made, and it had leadership, it had people like Wanjigi behind it, but I didn't see Uhuru bringing. Even last year, the protests were lethal. We didn't see, and there was a discussion of it going to take Baba to Statehouse. That was there. But we didn't see military. So how intensive, how serious, how threat, what is the threat profile of the protests that were going on? Amorphous, it didn't have a leader. Or have really this protest exposed William Ruto? The legitimacy questions are here. I'm seeing some 4 issues that I think, there's some 4 factors that was really worrying President Ruto. The first one is Rigathi Gachagwa's blast on the intelligence compromise. It was a red flag. The Rigathi Gachagua press briefing in Mombasa, and since he made that press briefing, we've not seen in public. And the act of making parallel press briefing. The president was speaking in Statehouse in Nairobi, and Rigathi is speaking in his residence in Mombasa. Rigathi calling for a resignation of the inspector of the director general of the NIS, saying that NIS has failed the nation. And of course, there are 2 things he said in Mombasa. He said that this bill was unpopular and NIS misled the president and exposed the president to this. And then he said the second thing was the same NIS wanted to implicate both him and Uhuru Kenyatta in these developments. So what is Rigathi saying? What is he not saying that we need to hear? What he is simply saying here is, someone might have told William Ruto that the Rigathi Gachagua was behind this Gen Z protest. I am one person that is resisting any discussion of anyone behind it, because just tell me. So there are people that have been killed. We've seen these young people coming all over. Even where I stay, there's a friend, I sent to one of my friends in this channel who called me and told me, Kevin, you understand you've been analyzing politics. I want you to come to speak to so-and-so so that he can understand the magnitude of this problem, and so that he doesn't go to town. And the son wanted to go to town, and we were sitting there, son, and telling that, he was just come from Ushago the other day, and then wanted to go to town, and we were telling him, no, you don't understand still the terrain. And so if ourselves, and even you can tell me, how many did you convince in your individual capacity not to go to town? Was there motivation? I've been saying, if there is someone who funded and paid anyone to go and protest, then the government have the machinery to track those transactions and even to block those payments if they were made through M-Pesa or any form. The government has to know, in fact, there is a lot of 1,500, some 10,000 reaching these accounts or getting to such people. It would have been known. And so what we need to agree here is, I find that as escapism, because it's just people who don't want to confront the truth that people have a problem with the way things are going. And secondly, I'm not defending Rigathi, but what Rigathi is raising is a serious matter. The northeastern leaders are not right to say that Rigathi is talking about NIS because NIS is a Somali. No. I think we should not reduce it to and you see, then it is northeastern leaders now coalescing somewhere, calling press briefings left, right, and center. The Somali community saying, no, even Joho, I don't agree with that, because this was, everyone has to speak his mind. Everyone has to speak. Much as I don't agree with Rigathi that NIS misled the president, because this thing was in, the writing was on the wall. If you listen to media, you listen to analysts, you even call people, you try, it was outright in the open. But I think the Rigathi statement, we should not just, because in this country, that means Rigathi cannot say anything. If Rigathi says this, you say he's saying because he's not a Kikuyu. I don't think it's a good place. Rigathi have his own challenges, but I think we are also a bit unfair. Now, the second thing that brought, that really worried the president is how this evolved from reject finance bill to Ruto must go. And the Ruto must go got traction. It started from reject because we're rejecting finance bill, we want to occupy parliament. And after the parliament was occupied, then we said Ruto must go, and now Ruto must go necessitated occupy Statehouse. You see how it was developed? And I think the way that was, you could see what was happening. Late night, they were now pushed to make sure that they back down on the call to go to Statehouse. That evolution, the way that narrative evolved from reject finance bill to occupy Statehouse was a big problem. And occupy Statehouse, it was actually gaining traction. By Thursday morning, it was trending at number one. Number two, the other factor I think, the US presence in the Nairobi operation could be part of that NATO issue, that NATO designation, NATO-US ally designation. Now, Nairobi uprising through social media mirrored the Arab Spring. The mobilization on social media that says that it was not very easy to contend this. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my take. Let's meet in the next. US debate between Biden and Trump is happening tonight, so keep it here. I'll come back with a comprehensive analysis at the end of that debate.